What's up, gamers? Dreamcastguy here, talking today about the PlayStation 5 because we're now just a single day away from the freaking reveal event, and I am just completely losing my mind. And clearly, I'm not alone. Right now over on Twitter, a full 24 hours before the event actually begins, it is already one of the top trending hashtags. Everybody is just so set and ready for the next generation of gaming. But I do think that some people are probably getting overhyped. Now let's just be clear, the PlayStation 5 reveal event is probably going to be good. We know that it's going to be an hour long, and I've talked about a couple of the games that are going to show up. It's pretty apparent due to the leaks and rumors that the plan for this event is going to be, instead of hitting us with a bunch of technical talk and mumbo jumbo about solid state drives and quick delivery, the idea behind this is that Sony just wants us to give us games, show us someone coming out on stage, playing a bunch of stuff, and kind of just showing why the PlayStation 5 is going to be bigger and better. But some of the things that people are hoping for at this event are a little bit unrealistic. So what I decided to do today is I dug through a bunch of the speculation and stuff to try and find 4 things that people seem to be wanting that I don't think are going to show up. Now, the first one that I hate to crush is the rumors of a new Dead Space. These all originated from a tweet that just popped up a couple hours ago, which is by Anthony Johnson. This is a creative genius. This guy is very, very talented, and specifically, he is the writer of the original Dead Space games. Most people credit the very specifically creepy ambient tone of Dead Space. The fact that they managed to be so isolating and so overbearing in their terror, a lot of people greatly attribute this to Anthony Johnson himself. Well, randomly, he just tweeted out, "After 2 years of working on this project in secret, I can finally show it to you tomorrow," clearly saying that he is about to be revealing a PlayStation 5 game that he has been working on. Now, the reason I specifically don't believe that this is Dead Space is because it's Electronic Arts. EA, I mean, for all the times they're trying to do things better, they're still a company that kinda downright sucks. The real issue arises with all the legal aspects of this. Dead Space is owned by a lot of different entities. People that managed to craft it have moved on to other projects. And the biggest thing is that Electronic Arts, it seems like the stuff that they want to support, they typically crank out the sequels super fast. Whether it be Battlefield, some sort of space adventure games. I mean, typically, if Electronic Arts is trying to fund something, they want those sequels as fast as humanly possible. So it's very difficult for me to believe that they're going from Dead Space 3, which was on the PlayStation 3, all the way to Dead Space 4 being a PlayStation 5 launch. That is incredibly difficult for me to believe. But I will say, the fact that Anthony is working on what is very likely a new horror game for the PlayStation 5, no matter what the project turns out to be called, it might be at least a spiritual sequel, and even that gets me very, very excited for it. Now, the next thing we need to talk about is definitely the thing that I think most people are the most curious about, and I'm still just going to double down on this. I don't believe we're going to see the price. I know a lot of people right now are extremely nervous. There's even been some leaked listings that say that the PlayStation may be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And the thing is, I still think that Sony and Microsoft are a little bit of an arms race. They're trying to trick each other into revealing their price first. Both Sony and Microsoft have managed to massively win this generation. I know a lot of people like to say, well, the PlayStation 5 or the PlayStation 4 has sold over 100 million units and the Xbox One has sold maybe like 40 million. But here's the thing, those are still a huge amount of install base. I mean, these guys have made a huge amount of raw profit, and I think that they realize that a good start absolutely makes a generation. I mean, a big reason why the Xbox One fell behind is because of their prohibitive cost and the Kinect at the start. I mean, that's it. It's not that the games were worse. It's not necessarily that the AAA exclusives were slightly low resolution. It's just the fact that the launch was just not as smooth as it should have been. So I think it's pretty apparent that this time they're both willing to invest in a lower cost if that's what it takes. I'm still afraid. Personally, my biggest worry is that the PlayStation 5 is going to be $600. I genuinely believe that if the cost is that high, there is going to be a big section of gamers who aren't even going to consider purchasing it until at least 2021. And that is going to hurt it at launch. And of course, that means that it's going to hurt a lot of the early sales of the developers that are jumping over to try and make all the launch games exclusives. So I think it's still pretty much positive that I don't think we're going to see a price. In fact, I'll bet on the fact that they're not going to show a price tomorrow because they're trying to get all the other talk out of the way. But speaking of clearing the road, I still think that this conference is all about games, which also means I specifically think that they're going to make it a point not to talk about backwards compatibility. There have been so many rumors and leaks. I've talked about this multiple times, but one of the things people have been hoping for is how Xbox Series X, it's confirmed that it's 4 generations of Xbox. It'll play original Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X games. And people have been kind of hoping and praying that somehow the PlayStation 5 will be able to do that in some capacity. Now, it's not going to be fully possible. I've talked to a lot of technical engineers and stuff, and they've basically said that trying to get PlayStation 3 games to run on anything other than a PlayStation 3 is incredibly difficult. So I still think that I don't think that there's going to be any backwards compatibility talk, or if they do, it's mostly going to be stuff about upgrades. I do believe that they made some sort of demonstration where they get a physical PlayStation 5 and they take a PlayStation 4 game like Spider-Man and they pop the disc in to show how it runs. I do think that they'll show something to try and convince people of, if you only own a PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5 is still for you. But when it comes to more general backwards compatibility, PlayStation 1 games, really cool PlayStation 2 classics. Like here, let's just grab a random PlayStation 2 game. Here we go. Dot Hack Mutation. I don't think that there's going to be any sort of system where I can place this in my PlayStation 5 and play it, as much as I love that idea. Now, the fourth thing, I hate to say this, but I don't think that there's going to be any PSVR reveal. I don't think that they're going to have a headset. I think that there is all the patents and stuff that have come out for a PlayStation VR 2. They're actually pretty promising. As somebody who owns a PSVR but doesn't particularly love it, I do think that the future, more technology definitely helps. Faster render speed, having more solid state drive. One of the major hurdles that I've had with PSVR is the fact that I still think it's kind of sucky to hook the thing up every time with all the wires, and a lot of the games, they still feel kind of limited. I want them to be more expansive and grandiose and bigger and cooler. So I do think that they're probably not going to reveal the PSVR now. If anything, I have a feeling that they're probably going to do a separate reveal event for that. I think they're going to say, yes, the PlayStation VR is going to be compatible with the PlayStation 5, and here's why you should buy it. I still think that for all the things that we're not going to see at the PlayStation 5 reveal, I'm certainly super excited for it. I'm so curious about the sequels, the remakes, the things that could show up, and I will be live streaming it. So what I'm going to be doing is, this is my Spider-Man costume. This is Cosmic Spider-Man. This is when Spider-Man became a god. I've decided that what I'm going to do, since I'm a mega Spider-Man fan, and I do believe we might see a Marvel Spider-Man reveal tomorrow, I've decided I'm going to live stream the PlayStation 5 reveal event right here on the YouTube channel, and I'm going to be wearing my cheesy Spider-Man outfit. So I hope you all tune in. I hope that this manages to temper your expectations, and no matter what, I'm sure that this is going to be very, very hype. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Oh yeah, by the way, it looks like some sort of Konami store listings are popping up. So the rumors of Silent Hill on PlayStation 5 are starting to be a little bit validated. But at this point, it's just a matter of waiting another 24 freaking hours.